Hello everyone, in this video we'll learn how to crochet this Shen's Peony scent sachet. This sachet needs 3 parts to crochet in total. The first part is our big sachet. The second part is the small sachet underneath. The third part is the hanging loop on top. Both the big and small sachets are crocheted with 2 motifs each. Then we will join them together with slip stitches. After completing the crocheting, we'll make the hanging loop. Finally, we'll add beads and tassels as decorations. Now let's start crocheting. First, we'll crochet the center part. Hold the yarn in your left hand and wrap it around your middle finger twice. Next, insert the hook into the loop, draw the yarn through and make a chain stitch as the starting chain. After completing that, continue by making 8 single crochets into the starting loop. Once the 8 single crochets are done, we'll gently pull this yarn tail. Here we have a tightened loop, then we pull this tightened loop. To close the other loop, we tighten it and then pull this yarn tail again. Once the loop is tight, join with a slip stitch into the first stitch loop. After joining with a slip stitch, our first round is completed. Now we'll start the second round, which will form the pistil of the flower. Make 5 chain stitches. Then go back to the second to last front loop. On this side, we have a chain, and the raised strands on the back are the front loops. This is the last front loop, and this is the second to last front loop. Insert the hook into the second to last front loop, and make slip stitches one by one. That means crocheting slip stitches into each front loop one after another. Here we've made a total of 4 slip stitches. After completing the slip stitches, we insert the hook into the half side chain of the first stitch, and make a slip stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, next insert the hook into the next half side chain. Make a slip stitch. Continue crocheting 5 chain stitches. Go back to the second to last front loop, and make 4 slip stitches one by one. After completing the 4 slip stitches, return to the half side chain of the second stitch, and make a slip stitch. Then insert the hook into the half side chain of the third stitch, and make a slip stitch. Continue crocheting the third pistil. Here we've made a total of 8 pistils. After completing the last pistil, insert the hook into the half side chain of the first stitch, and make a slip stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, crochet 1 chain stitch. Go to the back side and find the reserved inner half loop. The first stitch here is a bit hard to find. This is the second half side chain. The shorter one here is our first half side chain. If you're having trouble finding it, you can count. Start counting from the last half side chain, and count forward to the 8th one. Just pick up the horizontal bar of the 8th stitch, then we insert the hook. Next, crochet 1 chain stitch as the beginning chain. Insert the hook into the first stitch, and make a single crochet increase. Then continue inserting the hook into the second half side chain, and make a single crochet increase. Repeat crocheting a single crochet increase in each half side chain like this. After completing the last single crochet increase, slip stitch into the first stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, our third round is completed. Now we'll start the 4th round. The 4th round is also crocheted, and this pistil is longer than the one in our second round. First, crochet 6 chain stitches. Then return to the second to last chain, insert the hook from the back bump and slip stitch. Here we've crocheted a total of 5 slip stitches. After completing the slip stitches, slip stitch into the half side chain of the first stitch. Then slip stitch into the next half side chain, followed by crocheting 6 chain stitches. Return and slip stitch. After completing 5 slip stitches, then return to the half side chain of the second stitch and slip stitch. Next, continue slipping into the third stitch. After that, keep repeating the same pistol crochet method as the previous 2. This round has a total of 16 pistils. After completing the last pistil, slip stitch into the half side chain of the first stitch. Insert the hook and slip stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, break the yarn. Now, at the position where we just slip stitched, pull the yarn to the wrong side. And that completes the pistil section. Next, switch to a new color to crochet the first layer of petals. First, locate the back loop of the third round. Insert the hook into the first back loop. Pull up a loop. While crocheting here, we need to weave in these 2 strands as we go. Start with a chain stitch, which serves as the starting chain. Then, insert the hook into the same stitch again. Crochet a single crochet. Next, insert the hook into the second half side chain. Crochet a single crochet increase. Then continue by inserting the hook into the next stitch, and crocheting a single crochet. Next, crochet a single crochet increase. After that, we'll follow the pattern of crocheting 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase. This 2-stitch sequence will be repeated continuously as groups of 2 stitches. A total of 8 groups will be crocheted. Once the 8th group is completed, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch of the round. After joining with a slip stitch, the 5th round is completed. Next, crochet the 6th round by making 5 chain stitches. Then return, and insert the hook into the second to last front loop, picking up front loops one by one. Here, a total of 4 loops are picked up, plus 1 loop already on the crochet hook. There are a total of 5 loops on the hook. Next, insert the hook into the half side braid of the first stitch on the main part. At this point, there are 6 loops on the crochet hook. Then yarn over and work off the loops 2 at a time. Once all the loops are worked off, the first row is completed. Now crochet the second row by inserting the hook directly into the first front loop. Continue picking up front loops for a total of 4 times. Then insert the hook into the half side braid of the second stitch, yarn over, and work off the loops 2 at a time. This completes the second row of crocheting. Note that the second row starts by inserting the hook into the half side braid of the second stitch. Now crochet the third row. Make a chain stitch, which also counts as an increase. Insert the hook into the last front loop, and pick 5 front loops in sequence. Still insert the hook into the half side braid of the second stitch. Pull the yarn through, then work off the loops 2 at a time. The third row is now completed. Next, crochet the fourth row with the hook. Insert the hook into the last front loop, and continue picking front loops in sequence. After picking all the front loops, insert the hook into the half side braid of the third stitch and pull through. Work off the loops 2 at a time. This completes the 4th row. Now proceed to crochet the 5th row. For the 5th row, we need to decrease 1 stitch. Insert the hook into the last front loop, and slip stitch to decrease 1 stitch. Then pick the front loops in sequence, for a total of 4 picks. Next, insert the hook into the half side braid of the third stitch, and work off the loops 2 at a time. This completes the 5th row. Now proceed to crochet the 6th row. Insert the hook directly into the last front loop, and pick 4 loops in sequence. Then insert the hook into the half side braid of the 4th stitch and pull through, followed by working off the loops 2 at a time. Once the loops are worked off, the 6th row is completed. Next, we'll finish off the edge. Insert the hook into the last front loop, and make a slip stitch. Next, insert the hook into the second front loop, and make a slip stitch. Then insert the hook into the third front loop, and make a slip stitch. Insert the hook into the fourth loop and slip stitch. Here we make a total of 4 slip stitches. Next, insert the hook into the half side braid of the 4th stitch on the main part, and make a slip stitch. With that, we have completed 1 petal. Each petal is made up of 6 rows and covers 4 stitches in total. This round consists of 6 petals in total. The crochet method for each petal is identical. When crocheting the next petal, simply insert the hook into the half side braid of the next stitch, and make a slip stitch. Next, crochet 5 chain stitches. Then simply repeat the same 6-row pattern we did earlier. We won't go into detailed demonstration here. Please complete the remaining petals on your own. After completing the 6th petal, slip stitch into the first half side braid. Once the slip stitch is done, we'll cut the yarn directly. Pull this yarn tail over, then thread it through to the wrong side. Next, we'll switch colors, and crochet the 7th and 8th rounds. The 7th and 8th rounds form the second layer of petals. First, locate the inner half loop of the 5th round, for the 6th round petals. Each petal spans 4 stitches. So we'll pick any petal and find its halfway point, which is right here. Insert the hook at the 3rd stitch position, and pull up a loop. This creates an offset between our 2 layers of petals. First, we'll make a chain stitch as the turning chain, then work a single crochet in this stitch. Insert the hook into the next stitch, and crochet a single crochet, then insert into the 3rd stitch and crochet another single crochet. Next, insert into the following stitch, and do a single crochet increase. Then we'll continue inserting into the next stitch. Crochet 3 single crochets followed by a single crochet increase in sequence. After that, we'll group 3 single crochets, followed by a single crochet increase. Repeat this crochet pattern 6 times in total. After completing the last group, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Once joined, the 7th round is completed. Next, we'll start the 8th round. Crochet 5 chain stitches. After completing the 5 chains, insert into the second last loop from the end. Pick up 4 times in sequence. Then insert into the side of the first stitch's chain space, and pick up, followed by picking up 2 loops in sequence. This completes the first row. Now proceed to crochet the second row. Insert into the last loop, pick up 4 times in sequence. Then insert into the side of the second stitch's chain space and pull through. Yarn over, then pull through 2 loops in sequence. This completes the second row. Now proceed to crochet the third row. Make 1 chain stitch, which adds 1 stitch. Next, insert into the last loop, pick up 5 times in total. Then insert into the side of the second stitch's chain space again. Pull through the yarn, then pull through 2 loops in sequence. This completes the 3rd row. Now proceed to crochet the 4th row. Return to the last loop, insert once and pick up 5 times. Next, insert into the side of the 3rd stitch chain space and pull through. Then pull through 2 loops in sequence. This completes the 4th row. Now proceed to crochet the 5th row. Pick up the last loop and slip stitch, which decreases 1 stitch. Then pick up the inner loops in sequence, 4 times total. Next, insert into the side of the 3rd stitch chain space again, and pull through 2 loops in sequence. This completes the 5th row. Now proceed to crochet the 6th row. Make 1 chain stitch, which adds 1 stitch. Next, insert into the last inner loop, pull through the yarn, and pick up 5 times total. Insert into the side of the 3rd stitch chain space again. Pull through, then pull through 2 loops in sequence. This completes the 6th row. Now proceed to crochet the 7th row. Insert into the last inner loop, and pick up 5 times in sequence. Insert into the side of the 4th stitch chain space and pull through. Then pull through 2 loops in sequence. This completes the 7th row. Now proceed to crochet the 8th row. Make a slip stitch, which decreases 1 stitch, then pick up 4 times in sequence. Insert into the side of the 4th stitch chain space again. Then pull through 2 loops in sequence. This completes the 8th row. Now proceed to crochet the 9th row, pick up 4 times in sequence. Then insert into the side of the 5th stitch chain space, and pull through, then pull through 2 loops in sequence. This completes the 9th row. After completing the 9th row, it's time to finish the edge. Insert into the last inner loop and make a slip stitch. Then proceed to crochet slip stitches in sequence. 4 slip stitches are made here, then slip stitch into the side of the 5th stitch chain space. Once the slip stitches are done, this petal is completed. This petal covers 5 stitches. In this round, a total of 6 petals are needed, and each one is crocheted using the same method. After completing one petal, when moving on to the next petal, we directly make a slip stitch into the side of the next stitch chain space. Crochet 5 chain stitches, then repeat the 9 rows of the first petal as we did before. Please complete it by yourself, no detailed explanation here. After completing the last petal, make a slip stitch into the side of the first stitch chain space. Once the slip stitch is done, break the yarn. Then go back to the first single side chain space, where we started. Pick the yarn to the wrong side. Now switch colors and crochet the 9th and 10th rounds. The 9th and 10th rounds form the 3rd layer of the petals. We locate the half loop of the 7th round from any middle stitch of the previous round's petal. Pick up the half loop, insert the hook and pull through. Make a chain stitch as the turning chain. Then insert into the first stitch and make a single crochet. Continue inserting into the side of each stitch chain space, crocheting single crochets one by one, for a total of 4 single crochets. After completing the 4 single crochets, insert into the next stitch and make a single crochet increase. After that, follow this pattern, 4 single crochets, then 1 single crochet increase. Continue repeating this group of 5 stitches, crocheting a total of 6 groups. After completing the last group, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Once joined, the 9th round is completed. Now let's start the 10th round. Make 5 chain stitches. Then return to the second to last loop you worked in. Pick up 4 times in sequence. Then return to the first stitch of the main piece, inserting into the side chain space. Pull through, yarn over, and work off 2 loops at a time. This completes the first row. Now let's start the second row. Make 1 chain stitch. Insert the hook into the last loop, then pick up 5 times in sequence. Then go back to the second stitch of the main piece and pull through. Next, work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. This completes the second row. Now let's start the third row. Insert into the last loop again, then pick up 5 times in sequence. Same as before, insert into the side chain space of the second stitch. Pull through, then work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. This completes the third row. Now let's start the fourth row. Make 1 chain stitch, insert into the last loop, then pick up 6 times in sequence. Insert into the side chain space of the third stitch on the main piece, and pull through, then work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. This completes the fourth row. Now let's start the fifth row. Insert into the last loop, then pick up 6 times in sequence. Continue inserting into the side chain space of the third stitch. Work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. This completes the fifth row. Now let's start the sixth row. Join with a slip stitch into the last loop, then pick up 5 times in sequence corresponding to each loop. Insert into the side chain space of the third stitch again and pull through. Yarn over, then work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. This completes the sixth row. Now let's start the seventh row. Insert into the last loop, then pick up 5 times in sequence. Insert into the side chain space of the fourth stitch, pull through, yarn over, then work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. This completes the seventh row. Now let's start the eighth row. Make a chain stitch, then return to insert into the last loop. Pick up 6 times in sequence. Next, insert into the side chain space of the fourth stitch again. Yarn over, then work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. The 8th row is now completed. Let's move on to the 9th row. Insert into the last loop, then pick up 6 times in sequence. Again, return to the side chain space of the fourth stitch on the main piece. Work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. The 9th row is now completed. Let's move on to the 10th row. Insert into the last loop with a slip stitch, then pick up 5 loops in sequence. Insert into the side chain space of the 5th stitch, pull through, then work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. The 10th round is now completed. Let's continue with the 11th round. Insert into the last loop, then pick up 5 times in sequence. Insert into the side chain space of the 5th stitch again, then work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. The 11th row is now completed. Now let's start the 12th row. Insert into the last loop with a slip stitch. Then pick up 4 times in sequence. Insert into the side chain space of the 6th stitch from the main part, pull through. Then work off 2 loops at a time in sequence. With that, the 12th row is completed. Now let's move on to finishing the edge. Insert into the last loop with a slip stitch, then work slip stitches in sequence. After completing the slip stitches, insert into the side chain space of the 6th stitch again and make a slip stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, this petal is completed. In total, this petal has 12 rows and covers 6 stitches. This round requires 6 petals in total, and the method for each petal is the same. For the next petal, insert the hook into the side chain space of the next stitch and make a slip stitch. Then work 5 chain stitches, and repeat the same method used for the first petal. This part won't be explained in detail again, please complete it on your own. After completing the last petal, slip stitch into the half stitch of the first stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, we'll break the yarn. Then pick up the yarn from this stitch to the back side. With that, the 10th round is completed. Now we'll switch colors and work on the 11th round. Insert the hook into the inner half stitch of the 9th round. Pick up the yarn from its first stitch and pull through. Make a chain stitch as the beginning chain. Next, insert the hook into the first side chain space, and make a single crochet. Continue working single crochets into each side chain space, starting with 5 single crochets. After completing the 5 single crochets, then work a single crochet increase into the next half stitch. After that, follow this pattern, 5 single crochets, 1 single crochet increase, working 6 stitches as one group. Repeat this crocheting pattern, work a total of 6 groups. After completing the last group, slip stitch into the first stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, the 11th round is completed. Next, work on the 12th round, make a chain stitch as the beginning chain. Then insert the hook into the first stitch, and work 3 single crochets in sequence. 1 single crochet increase. 3 single crochets. After that, follow this pattern, 3 single crochets, 1 single crochet increase. Work 3 single crochets as one group. Repeat this crocheting pattern a total of 6 times. After completing the last group, slip stitch into the first stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, the 12th round is completed. Next, work on the 13th round, make a chain stitch as the beginning chain. Insert the hook into the first stitch, and work 7 single crochets in sequence. One single crochet increase. After that, follow this pattern, 7 single crochets, 1 single crochet increase, 8 stitches as one group. Continue repeating this crocheting pattern, work a total of 6 groups. After completing the last group, slip stitch into the first stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, the 13th round is completed. Next, work on the 14th round. Make a chain stitch as the beginning chain, insert the hook into the first stitch and work a single crochet. Next, insert the hook into the second stitch and work a double crochet. Insert into the third stitch and work 1 double crochet followed by 1 treble crochet. Next, work 2 chain stitches, then return to the 2 strands on the side of the treble crochet. Slip stitch to complete. A 2 chain picket stitch. Next, yarn over the hook twice. Insert the hook into the next stitch and work a treble crochet. Still in the same stitch, work another double crochet. Insert into the next stitch and work a double crochet. Then, work a single crochet into the next stitch. This completes the first group of the crochet pattern. Next, let's demonstrate another group. Insert the hook into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Next, insert into the following stitch and work a double crochet. Then, work a double crochet in the next stitch. Treble crochet. A 2-chain picket stitch. Next, insert the hook into the following stitch and work a treble crochet. 1 double crochet. Next, insert into the next stitch and work 1 double crochet. Single crochet completes the second group of the crochet pattern. After that, continue repeating the same pattern used in the first 2 groups. This round is repeated a total of 9 times. After finishing the last group, slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. Once the slip stitch is done, we have completed round 14. Here, after completing the first motif, simply chain 1 and then cut the yarn. Then for the second motif, don't cut the yarn and continue with the slip stitch sewing. With the wrong sides facing each other and the right side facing out, insert the hook into the next stitch. On this side as well, insert into the next stitch, and match up the stitches for slip stitching. When slip stitching to the position of our picket stitch, simply skip, and insert the hook into the first stitch on the opposite side. Then continue slip stitching. After that, just keep matching up the stitches as you go. When we sew up to a gap of about 5 centimeters, we'll start stuffing it. Note that we're using cotton for demonstration, but in reality, just stuff with yarn ends. First, put a little cotton inside into each of these corners, and add a bit of cotton into each corner. Once the cotton is in place, then take out our little sachet bag. Pour out half of the filling from this sachet bag. Then stuff this filling into it. Next, continue slip stitching to sew it up. When you slip stitch to the point where only a small gap remains, add a little more cotton, stuffing the corners along the edge. Once the stuffing is done, continue slip stitching to close this gap. After completing the last slip stitch, thread through the middle position, where we already slip stitched before, and continue slip stitching. Once slip stitching is complete, then cut the yarn. From the same position, pull the yarn tail through. Finally, pull this yarn tail to the inside of our fabric. Next, let's adjust its petals. Start adjusting from the first layer's petal. The petal overlaps another petal, meaning the right petal overlaps the left one. And this one too, just spread it out the same way. Once the first layer's petals are adjusted, the same method applies to adjust the petals of the next 2 layers. After all adjustments are done, the upper part of our sachet is completed. Next, we'll crochet the small sachet at the bottom. Hold the yarn with your left hand, and wrap the yarn around your middle finger twice. Next, insert the hook into the loop, yarn over and pull through 2 chains as the starting chain. These 2 chains count as 1 incomplete double crochet, then yarn over. Still in the same loop, crochet another incomplete double crochet, then yarn over. Pull through all at once, and this completes a bobble stitch with 2 double crochets. Next, crochet 1 chain, yarn over, and continue with 2 incomplete double crochets. Pull through all at once, then crochet another chain. After that, keep repeating the pattern, a bobble stitch of 2 incomplete double crochets, followed by 1 chain as a group. Continue repeating this crocheting pattern, a total of 8 times. After completing the 8th group, proceed to tighten the loop. First, pull the yarn tail to locate the shrinking loop. Then pull the loop you've been tightening to close the other loop. Next, pull the yarn tail to tighten it completely. Then join with a slip stitch in the stitch of the first bobble stitch. After joining, crochet 1 chain, and then cut the yarn. This completes the first round. Now let's start the second round. Insert the hook into the chain space from the previous round. Pull the yarn through. Chain 2 as the starting chain. Still in the same chain space, crochet 2 double crochets. Then chain 2. Insert the hook and join with a slip stitch in the same spot. After joining, move to the next chain space, and join with a slip stitch. Then chain 2, 2 double crochets, and chain 2. Again, insert the hook in the same chain space, and join with a slip stitch. Then move to the next chain space, and join with a slip stitch to continue crocheting. Follow this pattern to complete each chain space, for a total of 8 times. After finishing the last chain space, join with a slip stitch in the first chain space. Next, go to the middle position of the first 2 chains on the side. Then pick up a front loop, and then pick up the back loop. Insert the hook and join with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn. Pull tight, then bring the yarn to the back side through the same position. This completes the second round. Now let's start the third round. We'll begin between any 2 petals. Then pick up the yarn on the back side, and make a starting chain. The starting chain is 2 chain stitches, after completing the 2 chains. Next, yarn over with the hook. Work a front post double crochet around the post of the bobble stitch. After completing the front post double crochet, chain 2. Work a front post double crochet in the next bobble stitch, chain 2. Then we'll continue repeating the same pattern. We'll work this pattern a total of 8 times. After completing the last group, join with a slip stitch to the stitch of the front post double crochet. After joining, chain 1 and then cut the yarn. Next, we'll pull the petal of the second round out through this gap. After adjusting the third round, we'll start working the fourth round. Insert the hook into any of the chain spaces formed by 2 chains. Pull the yarn through and make 2 chains as the starting chain, then yarn over the hook. Work 2 double crochets into the same chain space, followed by a picket made with 1 chain. Then continue working 2 more double crochets. Two chains and slip stitch. After joining, insert the hook into the next chain space, and slip stitch to start crocheting. In the second chain space, work the same pattern, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. 1 picket made with 1 chain. 2 double crochets. 2 chains and slip stitch. Then insert the hook into the next chain space and slip stitch. After that, continue repeating the same pattern as the previous 2 groups. Repeat this pattern a total of 8 times. After completing the last group, insert the hook into the first chain space and slip stitch. Next, insert the hook into the first chain of the 2 chains. Pick up the front loop and the back strand, then slip stitch. Here we need to crochet 2 of these motifs. For the first motif, just make a chain and slip stitch. Pull the yarn tail to the wrong side. For the second one, don't cut the yarn, and join with the wrong sides together. When inserting the hook to slip stitch, we pick up one side of the V-shaped loop and then slip stitch. Because at the beginning, this was made with 2 chains. Whenever we meet a chain, we always pick up one side of the V-shaped loop to slip stitch. Next is our stitch. On the stitch you pick up the entire stitch and slip stitch it, both double crochet stitches are worked this way, then move to the picket position. Don't crochet, just skip directly to the DC stitch on the other side. Insert hook and slip stitch. Then insert into the next DC stitch and slip stitch. After completing the slip stitch, here we have 2 chains, pick up one side of the V-shaped loop and insert hook. On this side, also insert into one side of the V-shaped loop and slip stitch. Similarly, pick up one side of the V-shaped loop here and slip stitch. Then at this bottom joining position, we directly pick up a slip stitch. And on the opposite side, also pick up a slip stitch, then insert hook and slip stitch. Then we'll join with a slip stitch in the same way as established. When you've crocheted to the point where just a small opening remains, it's time to stuff it with cotton. After stuffing is complete, continue with a slip stitch to sew it together. After completing the last stitch, continue upward. Then join with a slip stitch to secure. Then, pick up the yarn again in the same position. Then, pull the yarn tail to the inside. So our little sachet is all done crocheting. Next, we'll crochet a hanging loop, and leave a tail of about 15 centimeters. Then we yarn over to cast on. After completing the foundation chain, proceed to crochet 70 chain stitches one by one. Once the 70 chain stitches are completed, break the yarn directly. When breaking the yarn, leave about 15 centimeters of yarn, then pull the tail through. With that, our hanging loop is completed. Next, we'll take out the accessories to begin assembly. First, we'll remove the bead from the top of the tassel. After removing the bead, we'll set these 2 green beads aside for later use. And we won't be using this part, so we'll cut off one of the 2 threads. For the remaining thread, we'll leave a length of about 7 or 8 centimeters. Then we'll cut it at this position. After cutting, come here and tie a few knots to secure it. Here, we'll use a lighter to melt the ends slightly. Melt it into a pointed shape, making it easier to thread the beads. First, thread a seed bead onto the string. Then, do the same at this position, melt it a bit. Thread through, then insert the green bead next. This is the larger green bead we removed from the top of the tassel. Similarly, thread through at this point as well. Then, following the same method, add another seed bead at the back. When you get to this point, cut the yarn. Then use a lighter to melt it slightly. That's where we conclude this thread. Then proceed to insert into this part. After threading through, add a bead. Then place it in the middle. Next, insert the hook into any pointed shape of the small sachet. Then draw through at the opposite corner position. Then thread the line through the loop. Then continue following the same beading method. Thread through the middle bead as well. Then secure it to any corner of our larger sachet. First, pull it tight, then tie a knot underneath. After securing with a simple knot, thread it through the green bead. At this position, give it a firm upward pull, then tuck the knotted part of the thread into the bead. Then proceed to cut off the excess yarn. Use a lighter to slightly melt the yarn tail. This completes the connection for the lower part. Next, we'll attach the hanging loop. Here, start by tying a simple knot at the top for securing. Next, separate the threads. Here, we'll leave 2 on each side, totaling 4 small threads. For the other 2, simply tie a knot and cut them off. Next, let's use the sewing needle. First, thread through a seed bead. Then thread through a green one. Next, add another seed bead. When securing the hanging loop, start counting up from the bottom position. Fix it between the 4th and 5th beads. After securing it for 2 rounds, proceed from the side. From the back, first thread through 1 strand. Then stagger the position slightly. From this side, pull through the other 2 strands. Like this, tie a double knot to secure it. With that, the hanging loop on the top is also secured. That's the end of today's video. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.